Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel, and I'm a Cubs fan.
And I'm Andy, and I'm a Sox fan.
And this is a podcast divided after the intro.
Your Daily Cubs White Sox podcast, the best place for all the baseball debate you need.
And welcome back, everybody, to a podcast divided. I'm joined by Andy, and because he's going to have to go, Andy, you're going to do your White Sox segment first, and then I'm going
I
to do my Cubs
literally have
segment
nothing
after
to bring. You didn't.
So should we just?
We didn't talk about. We just.
Okay. So we'll just talk about the Cubs then. Okay. So try to do your part for this first half. So
Just
first
waiting.
of all,
Okay.
big news is that the Cubs convention's been going on, and we've had some interesting things happening. Like while Tom Ricketts being interrupted by the fans, literally chanting Cody, and Dansby Swanson got interviewed, and he said, before we start playing baseball, we've got signed Cody Bellinger, and he's the guy who the Cubs gave a lot of money last year. Like, the management's under pressure to make the signing. And I mean, will they make it? Right? I mean, do you think the Cubs management's very susceptible to that pressure?
Well, I sure hope not. I hope that they screw it all up like the Cubs usually do.
Yeah, because like Jed Hoyer's smart, right? But will he overpay just because the fans want him to? I mean, we might be the people who are chanting Cody, the people who are very heavily like trying to pressure them into signing Bellinger for whatever it takes. What are we getting ourselves into? Like I've said this before, and I know we've just been going through speculation since the Dodgers trade, but will I lost my train of thought there. Will Jed Hoyer pay extra just to get into a situation where the fans are happy right away? Like, I mean, I wasn't a fan back then, but I'm sure when Hayward signed, everyone was really happy. Look how that turned out, right? I mean, we've made bad signings before. It happens in free agency. You have to be careful. Fans can be dumb sometimes, you know?
Very. I agree. Okay, so while you were babbling, I actually found some White Sox news. The White Sox, you know how they fired Kenny Williams during the regular season. They finally found a hire for the assistant to the general manager. General manager is obviously Chris Getz, but they found a new assistant to the general manager. His name is Jim Wong. Now, I've never heard of him, so I don't know if this is the right or the wrong decision. I hope that he does good, that he doesn't make trades behind the general manager's back, like Kenny Williams with Jake Berger. Again, I'm going to rant again. Jake Berger was a fan favorite for the White Sox. He was one of two lights in this dark franchise, and Kenny Williams just decided to just put him in Miami for fantastic trade. It wasn't actually. It was horrible. Hopefully Jake either pans out. He better pan out. So, yeah, we have a new assistant to the general manager, Jim Wong.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's very interesting. I mean, so have you been excited for Kenny Williams to be fired, petitioning for it to say?
I was pumped the day I heard from Yahoo Sports that Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams were fired. I was so happy. I was jumping for joy. I went right downstairs and I high-fived everybody. It was great.
Yeah, if it's coming from Yahoo Sports, you know it's real news. It's not Morosi saying that the Cubs aren't going to sign someone. You know, I mean,
yeah, like, it's not the Cubbies' crib.
We're not. Their Cubs aren't going to sign the manga. Anyway, or Cubbies' crib. You know, also, I just have something funny to say while I'm thinking about it. I took a screenshot of this tweet back when the Cubs were still trying to sign Otani, and it's pretty hilarious because I never realized that. I don't know if I'm gonna find it, but I remember it good enough. It was by the Obvious Shirts, and they were trying to sell a shirt that says it's Showtime, or like it's Show Cabo, or I don't remember. It was Show Cog. I don't know. It was some like
Chicago.
it was some like Otani like marketing thing. And they were trying to sell an Otani Cubs shirt, and I thought that was. And then they in like the tweet they said like the Cubs are gonna sign Otani now, and like I thought they were actually like a reliable source, and I didn't realize they were a shirt. I didn't realize they were a shirt company.
Oh my, Daniel, you are a buffoon and a half.
Yeah, I was looking over it and I was like, "Ooh boy, I thought this was real." And I was like, "Wait a second, the Obvious Shirts. Wait, this was a whole marketing scheme."
Did you buy Did you buy that shirt? You probably didn't you?
I didn't, but I should have.
Surprising.
Like back then, I would have wanted. Back then, I would have wanted to. No, I guess.
I
Not.
bet one of our future guests who we're gonna have on the channel soon might have bought their shirts, as we do have a humongous Cubs fan, just as goofy as the one right next to me. He's gonna be coming on. He says that he's gonna be coming on as soon as the Cubs make a big signing.
Yeah.
So you know what? I doubt
mean,
that he's even gonna come on, but who knows? I feel like he's probably gonna be here by next week. So you guys got to look out for that, because this is one of our first special guests.
I mean, me and him, we were gonna we like came up with tomorrow. Like he can come on tomorrow, but the only issue is like he wants to come on when the Cubs make a move, and he said like Chapman, Hoskins, Bellinger, and I was like, okay, sure, see what I can do. But
Yeah, so you know what? Scratch whatever I just said, because that's never happening. So he's never gonna be on the thing.
I'll just watch out for the minor league signings, right?
Yeah.
It's funny though. I know I said about the Swanson thing, but the Cubs fans chanting Cody and Swanson sending a message. Could Swanson be sending a message not only to management but to Bellinger, saying that we need you, man? Like we were in the same boat in 2023. I know we didn't make the playoffs. We had a good year though, but this year we've got to do better, and we're not gonna be that good if we don't got you. We need you. You're a part of this team. Please sign. We are not the Cubs without you. And maybe he'll tell Boris, take off a little money and see if you can make a deal with the Cubs. And then maybe we'll have talking about baseball on here tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
And pitching wise, like no one's talking about the Cubs signing relief pitching when, in my opinion, it's more important than bats when you had the team with the third highest run differential, meaning they scored a lot of runs. But
Agreed. Yeah, you guys need relief, but you haven't really been doing anything with that.
We traded one of the two people on the Dodgers deal. Was a reliever. That's pretty much it. That's
Do you even
all.
remember
That
his
isn't
name?
it.
Do you remember his name?
Almonte.
What's his first name?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's not gonna do anything for the Cubs.
Well, he had a good first year in the MLB with a 1 ERA, and then his second year a 6. So he's trending horribly. He's increasing 5 every year in this small experience.
Enjoy your 12 ERA guy.
Yeah. But
All right, well, I think that's all the time we have. Daniel, you want to add anything else that actually contributes to logic?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this going for a little longer because I don't want it to be this short. But appreciate your time, Andy, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll see you on the other side.
Okay, see you in the afterlife, I guess.
That made no sense. Okay, well, see you tomorrow. Bye.
Farewell. Go White.
Farewell. So, now you guys just got me over here. So, we're going to be not talking about the White Sox, obviously, because I'm the Cubs half of the show. And, yeah, the guy's name was Yency Almonte. I just found out, by the way. But it's too late for Andy to know. But I was just about to say before Andy had to go, relief pitching wise, there is a perfect fit for the Cubs, and that is Josh Hader. Now, Josh Hader was the Brewers closer for a while before they made the shockingly illogical move of trading him at the trade deadline when they were in position to make the playoffs and they were a good team and they traded their all-star closer. And I mean, their sub man, Williams, he was very angry, and the whole team didn't understand what was going on. And now the Cubs signed Craig Counsell too, so that's another reason why you could say he wants to play for the same manager, pretty close to the same location. I mean, and the Cubs need, need some really good pitching in that bullpen, and having Hader would really not only fill in a hole where we don't have enough skill in our bullpen, but the guys who are good, unlike last year, they won't be burned out if Hader's out there. And Hader will be providing quality too. Hader, since he was traded to the Padres, I'm gonna look up his stats right now, but he has been a solid closer for a long time. His career ERA is 250, okay? But last year, he had a 1.28, 128 ERA. 1.28 ERA. Not 128. I mean, this guy's insane. I don't know what's going on with the baseball reference because it's projecting him to have a 3.41 ERA next year, and he's only had 3. Oh, boy. Okay, so scratch what I just said, guys. He was not good until 2023. And in 2022, he had a 5.22 ERA. 2022 with Milwaukee, 4.24. So that's 2 half seasons. That's the splits. And then it's around 5. And then 2022 with. Oh, okay. So 2022 total, he had a 5.22, and then after being traded, before being traded, he had a 4.24 ERA. After being traded, 7.31. So he really struggled after being traded that first year. But then he comes into 2023. He got used to it, I guess, because he has a 1.28 ERA. He's only had 1 year before 2021. And I mean, that was better than that. And honestly, I'm wondering how much that trade affected him short term, but it looks like it didn't affect him long term because you saw he was amazing last year. And his career ERAs have been 2.08, 2.43, 2.62, 3.79, 1.23, and then the ERAs we've talked about 5.22 and 1.28. And honestly, he's only had a few years when he was bad, and even that was that was bad. Okay, some of them 3.79, that's okay, but if he's 2 or 3, I think I'll be really happy, and we'll all be really happy, and he'll help this team win a lot of games. And if you think about if he has a higher than that ERA, then that sucks, but he's shown that if he's on a long contract, he'll probably the majority of those years will be solid years. And he's had 2 seasons with an under 2, sub 2, and sub 1.5 too. He's had a 1.23 and a 1.28 ERA 2 times. That one time 1.23, one time 1.28. He is a good pitcher, and he'll be really solid for the Cubs if they sign him. I truly believe that. And honestly, who are you going to get on this market? Sure, there's always some risk in giving out a free agent contract, but we need a pitcher. We might not be able to compete for the National League Central. That's not even that good, especially with the Brewers dropping off. I mean, I don't think the Brewers are going to win 80 games. Cardinals are going up, though. Maybe Reds will hang in there, but we should win it. We should win the National League Central. Without our offense, if we can't supply pitching, and we got Among so the rotation's looking pretty solid. And you might bring up Adbert Alzolay, who was a great pitcher, closer to be specific for the Cubs last year before he I believe he got hurt. He ended up stopping pitching it by the end, but he was really solid. I think he got burnt out too, but if you could give him more innings, well, you could use him as a sub man, or you could use him as a reliever who pitches, say, 2-3. And he looked really good in that closer spot. So you could even say maybe he and Hader rotate. I don't know about that though. He could be a very good Seth, man. Honestly, I think that's what I'd want him to do. He got the 8th inning if we're up. Hader got the 9th. And if he can, I mean, I don't think anyone would be against him pitching 7 and 8. And then if the starter goes 6 innings, then we know who's pitching. In manga, then Alzolate and Hader, right? And I think even though there hasn't been too much connections with him with the Cubs, we need relief pitching, and he would be the best pick, honestly. And Matt Chapman is a guy who at third base. But first, I'm going to talk about some other pitchers. The first of which is another starter, so that makes me feel like I don't know if the Cubs need one. Probably won't sign him. Probably money's better spent on Hader. But Blake Snell, we're throwing out there. He's still available. And then, of course, you got Jordan Montgomery. And I'm not against having him in the sense of he's a lefty and having 3 lefties at the top of your rotation. I don't see why you would be against that. Maybe that's a little weird, but who cares? I mean, they're all good pitchers, but should the Cubs go for relievers? Definitely. And Hader is by far the biggest relief guy out there. I mean, Kershaw is still out there. Jordan Hicks is still out there. Hector Neris. I mean, there's a lot of guys, but most of these guys are stars, and we're probably not signing them. Robert Stevenson's out there. I mean, James Paxton or Aroldis Chapman's out there, although he's pretty washed. Ryu, he's a star. I mean, there's a lot of guys who we could sign, but none of them are gonna make such a big impact as Josh Hader will. And let's move on to Harris. Besides Cody Bellinger, who we've spent the last episode, the whole Cubs portion about, and the last and then the episode before that, I think we mentioned him a little bit. And then now we've spent a bit of time, maybe 4 or 5 minutes on Bellinger. But there are some other hitters out there too who some people think they'll sign with Bellinger. Some people say instead of Bellinger. But we've got really big holes at first and third. And Bush has not proven that he'll be that solution at third. So we have to look into signing a guy like Matt Chapman, who's going to provide a lot more defense than offense, but provide a solid bat, subpar but decent, solid, marginal, but good defense. And this Cubs team is built around defense, so that's the right thing for Cubs to look for, and that's what they want to look for. And then you've got the guy with a lot of pop, Rhys Hoskins, and he had ACL surgery. We were talking about him a few episodes ago too. I believe last year, 2022, 2023, 2022, and he will be a very good guy for the Cubs, hitting wise. He'll be really solid and play first base, and the injury risk is real, but it's also worth taking. And also probably sign a short contract because kind of like Bellinger, a prove it deal, And then you think about Jorge Soler, who's I don't even know if he's been connected to the Cubs almost. Barely. He was with the Marlins, obviously. And he was with the Cubs back in before the World Series back in that era. And he would provide decent pop. But to be fair, he is not very I don't know how to put this. He's 31. He's a solid power bat, but is he the guy who the Cubs are going to get? I'd pick Hoskins over him. I'd say most people would. Will he be solid? Yes. But will they get him? I don't know. Then you got Jock Peterson. I don't want him because there was that 1 year, I believe it was 2021 or 22. I think 21. He was pretty bad with us. Like, he was decent, but I just didn't like having him on the team. I was glad to see him go halfway through the season. I don't know. I just didn't really like. I feel like he didn't add that much. He was overhyped. And then Justin Turner, who a guy I actually heard a lot more connections to the Cubs last offseason. And I guess he signed a 1 year deal because lo and behold, he's back on the free agent list. Third base DH. Yeah, he'd fill that third base hole. Although he's 39. I don't know about that. JD Martinez, who I saw a comp with Reese Hoskins. But Hoskins is 30. JD Martinez is 36. That's 6 years. Like, I think he's gonna see a drop off a lot more likely than Hoskins, even with surgery. Tim Anderson. No, yeah, let's not talk about him. He was pretty horrible last year. And yeah, we don't need a catcher. Michael Taylor could sign him. I don't think we're going to though. Yeah, all these outfielders, like except for Bellinger, we're not. I don't think we're signing any of these outfielders. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, I mean, Donovan Solano may be worth knowing. So that happened because I mean, there's still enough guys left. I feel like it's easy to think, oh, there's no one left for the Cubs to sign. And that ranking we just did was, or that overview of the ranking of the free agents, the top 30, shows that although you don't got the Otani and Yamamoto, especially for a team like the Cubs, these guys who are not the stars, but they'll be really good, are still out there. And Bellinger's kind of a star, I guess, because of how good he was last year. But Cubs can make deals like Bellinger's last year with someone like Hoskins. And that's pretty much all the big names the Cubs are connected to. Because, I mean, there are other guys out there, but they're not even relevant. And last thing knowing, I'd say, is that at with the Cubs convention, at about the same time, I don't know if he was there, but Shota Imanga had his press conference, and this is pretty funny, but he just said he learned how to say, hey, Chicago, what do you say? Cubs gonna win today. So that was pretty cool. And he's got to learn how to say, hey, Jed, sign Bellinger. sign Cody, Jed. That's a lot easier than Go Cubs Go. But anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you. I'm really running out of stuff to say. Hopefully the Cubs make a big move soon because we'll have talking about baseball on when they do. We'll do a lot of fun stuff if they do because we've spent a lot of time talking about speculation. How about we have another signing? How about it? So thank you guys for watching. If you've made it this far, I'm going to remind you to use code FortBoys for $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. That code, even though it says FortBoys, it doesn't just apply to that channel. I put in for all these channels, so that's why we're using it for all of them. And besides that, that's it. So thank you for watching again. And until next time, see you later. And go Cubs.